Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about Starfield because as of late, things have just gotten worse. We are also going to be talking about the future of Starfield, whether or not this will be a good or bad thing. And as a side note here, I do want to say Happy Christmas to all of you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this. Let's start off by talking about the Starfield reviews, because what you're taking a look at was a screen capture on December 15th. Now let's fast forward a few days later, which would be today, and as you can tell right here, it isn't mostly negative. This right here is no surprise. I'm sure a lot of us were expecting this to go under just like so, and it seems that it has. And no, this is not because of some sort of console war. To be fair here, Starfield has had quite a few bugs as of late, so yeah, it's no surprise to see all of this. But let's be honest here, is it because of the bugs or is it because of something else? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the reviews and we'll see exactly what's going on here. The first review we're going to take a look at is by Red Noah L, and he had this to say: I have mixed feelings about Starfield. I did have reasonable amount of fun playing Starfield, but I quickly started to despise the character writing after one of my followers flipped their lid at me for boarding a pirate ship. I guess it would be like playing a video game sat next to my parents preaching at me not to do this or that. I didn't mind that planets are mostly empty and barren. I didn't mind that FPS combat, base building, or the leveling system. I loathed the preachy writing, the kind of writing that Hollywood uses these days, that left me feeling loathed. That the writers of this game had such low opinions of me that I needed to be preached to, and I am not listening anymore. Okay, so yeah, it's understandable. Some of the writing is a bit strange, and to be fair here, I did not like it one bit when I did have a companion of my own preach at me as well. For example, when you do have the choice to choose your companion, I had chosen Sarah, and so when I did that, things got worse because as I decided to choose certain things, she would always just yell and be like, hey, you're not supposed to do that, and over time, it just became a thing where I'm like, well, what can I do and what can I not do? The fact is, yeah, Sarah's a completely judgmental character on every decision that you make, and so over time it just became really annoying, and so I ended up choosing Barrett, which, yeah, that was another situation that was quite annoying as well. One of the most annoying characters had to be Barrett, but let's go ahead and move on and read the next review and see exactly what's going on. This player named Midnight Page had this to say: as countless others have stated before, the game is mostly empty, bland, and altogether underwhelming. I am tired of exploring mostly empty planets and coming across the same old randomly generated content over and over again. The companions are all cut from the same cloth, which limits how well they fit with the player's character if they aren't a saint. On the whole, the game is a disappointment, and I doubt even mods could really save the game, short of total overhauls/replacement of the base game like some mega mods in Skyrim do, but even then, at that point, is it even really Starfield anymore? Regardless, I deeply regret getting this game. I guarantee you this is not going to be the last time I see that in a review, because for Starfield, a lot of players have been saying that they regret the game or they wish they did not buy it and all this stuff. Anyways, yet so far it seems that it's the dialogue choices, which I completely agree with. There's also some other things we'll get into here shortly. Yet so far, it's all about dialogue choices, empty planets, it's barren. Some people do not like seeing the constant regenerated, stuff. So it all makes sense, really. It truly does. So I understand that completely. And this all sucks because the game actually was fun in the beginning. Then you start to feel things kind of drift off slowly but surely. So let's go ahead and read one more review just to kind of get a better idea of what's going on. So for example, if you take a look right here, you're going to see this username, Royal Bob 2. This is what he had to say on December 21st, which was about 4 days ago. He says, this game does break the Bethesda's formula, and sadly that is not a good thing. It has dialogue choices as meaningful as Fallout 4's base game, and quest design as well as the latest Call of Duty campaign. However, the most egregious thing about Starfield is the destruction of the Bethesda gameplay loop. Here is an example from Fallout 4 versus Starfield. When you travel to Diamond City, you get distracted by side quests and events along the way, mainly things like diner, where a mom and her son are getting mugged by two jet dealers. then the Brotherhood of Steel questline, then after crossing a bridge with raiders on a boat. Below you encounter Diamond City guards, fighting super mutants, then finally you arrive at Diamond City but are blocked from entering because of the reporter Piper. Now in Starfield you have another main quest to travel to Achilles City, and it goes something like this: backtrack or fast travel to your ship, next fast travel to the star system, next select the planet to land on, and fast travel to the surface. In the previous games, part of the gameplay loop was exploration, but now if you want to explore you need to waste 5 minutes of your time walking across an empty planet to get to a location that has no backstory or anything that ties to that location, to the world, or any quests ultimately ruining the Bethesda formula. Alrighty, so yeah, these reviews have some valid points, such as dialogues becoming kind of plain and bland, or possibly, you have a companion that's really judgmental. The other issue is that things are not that attractive or welcoming when you do travel to these planets. They're just mostly empty and bland. There's no story, nothing behind it. So yeah, you're kind of left wandering around aimlessly, like just kind of going off to nowhere. Now these of course are not the only reviews, because pretty much everyone shares the same opinion about the game. The only question that comes to mind is whether or not the developers are going to be able to dig themselves out of this hole. The fact is the game is really buggy right now, and they are resolving these issues, which is a good thing, but there's also the other side of the coin here where the dialogue choices are kind of bland, or your companions are just annoying and they bug you about your decisions. This right here would be my complaint, mainly just because of the bugs, and the dialogue choices do not feel too impactful, and nor does the companions. They just seem quite annoying, as I mentioned. But overall, I enjoy Starfield quite a lot. I think it's a really fun game, but I think there's just a lot of things that make it unattractive. So with that information being said, what do you think about Starfield? Do you think it's enjoyable? Do you agree with these reviewers? What is something that you dislike or that you like about the game? Let me know what you think about Starfield in general down below. Moving on, we're going to talk about mods, because as of late, the Starfield modders have been really improving the game quite a lot when it comes down to fixing bugs. For example, the most annoying bug in Starfield has to be this one right here, where your head faces towards the left side. So what this modder did right here is he had fixed the head tracking bug issue right away. Yet it's going to probably take Bethesda another 2 months to fix this problem. So yeah, if you're on PC, I definitely recommend that you download this mod right here, which is Sprint Head Tracking Bug Fix, and this is by a user named Monitor144HZ. This next mod will fix the empty enemy ship bug. For example, right here it says empty enemy ships on boarding bug fix. If you did not know, this is an issue right now where if you did land on a planet, some of the enemy ships would not have enemies or have any loot inside, especially the captain's locker. And last but not least, I do want to bring this one up. This has been around for quite some time, but it's a community patch for Starfield. The Starfield community patch mod was created by a user named Starfield Community Patch. So yeah, the title matches the same username. It's kind of like, does the carpet match the drapes type of thing, and I think that applies here. Anyways, this mod aims to fix these bugs right here: misplaced objects, script errors, inconsistencies in items properties, faulty missions, quests, game-breaking exploits, which boo, missing attributes such as tags, header flags, etc., and spelling errors. I'll be honest, I hate to throw some shade here, but yeah, these modders actually do a better job than Bethesda developers themselves. So yeah, as you can tell, there's a lot of negativity orbiting around Starfield right now, and a lot of players are disappointed in the game. But to be fair here, I'm still optimistic about Starfield. I think the developers do have a good chance at turning this around, just like Cyberpunk. Now, I don't know if it will go as far as Cyberpunk went when it came down to improving the game, because the developers over at CD Projekt Red did a phenomenal job on the game. So yeah, when it comes down to Starfield, I do not think it's going to be that amazing, but I definitely could see them improving it to where it's an enjoyable game again. Especially the fact that they're going to be adding different ways to travel. They're also mentioning, mods coming next year. And also the other thing that they mentioned is that they're adding different ways to customize ships, which is pretty cool. And oh yeah, if you did not know, the Starfield developers had just confirmed that this is all arriving here shortly, sometime next year. If you do not know about this information, let me read it to you right now so that you kind of have this information and you could take it with you, but I did go over this about 3 days ago. This is an article that was posted over at Bethesda.net, and they go over some information, some stats and all that. But if we go down here, right there in the middle, the developers had this to say: "We've been reading all your feedback and are excited to start launching these new features. We'll be adding new ways to travel, and you'll now be able to access city maps while exploring the major cities. For those of you who love shipbuilding, we'll also be able to expand on ship customization with ship decorations, new shipbuilding options, and more. We're also excited to be adding all new gameplay options. With these new settings, you'll be able to alter your gameplay to allow for an easier or more challenging experience that will expand beyond our normal difficulty settings. These will allow you to easily customize carry capacity, cargo access distance, ship damage, vendor credits, how you suffer afflictions, new survival mechanics, and more. Next, official mod support will be coming to Starfield with the launch of creations beginning early next year. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut it off right there because I have went over this information prior. And as you can tell, this will be arriving early next year, just mod support anyways. Now, as for the other things, the new ways to travel, hopefully that will arrive soon as well because it is quite boring to travel on these planets by foot. So yeah, I don't know guys, I'm optimistic. I feel like Starfield, the developers, have a good chance at turning this around and just, I don't know, improving the game a lot. So yeah, this is pretty much it for the news video. All I want to say is Happy Christmas to all of you. Hopefully everything is going well in your lives. I appreciate the love and support each year. It means a lot to me because I would not be able to do this without all of you. So yeah, I appreciate the love and support a lot. So hope you all have a great Christmas, and I'll see you all in the next video.